G'day, this week I'm excited, not about to take you somewhere, but to tell you about the things that I'm glad I brought with me in the van. Now, it would have been great at the beginning of my whole venture if I had had them all, laid them out, we'd had a list like this, laid them out. If you've got some comments, please add them to it, and then they'd all be organised, put only those things in the caravan and just come without anything else. Well, obviously some clothes and a couple of other things, but just about that's it. Anywho, let's go. Okay, hang on to your hat. This is going to be pretty fast paced, hopefully. I want to try and get through. I've got over 100 things that I brought with me on my trip that I think you should probably consider. So you better brace yourself. This could be a bit speedy. Here's the first one. Get yourself 4, what do they call them, ceramic mugs, because you might as well spoil yourself. Worst case scenario, you smash it 1 or 2 or the whole lot on your trip, go to Salvo's or Vinnie's or one of the thrift shops, and you'll pick them up for about 50 cents each. Okay, excuse me, I do have a cheat sheet, but there's a lot to get through. And I'm going to put on my spectacles so I know where I'm going. So in the kitchen you need 2 good quality washing up liquids. You'll need maybe a cream cleanser, scourer like this, and the green scourer, a couple of those. A decent one of these, dish mop, and they're not all exactly the same. I've got one I've just thrown out that these things just keep falling on the ground, so that's no good. So good quality one of those. Some velvet soap. Now the velvet soap I found absolutely awesome. I know what you're going to say, but it's the only soap I use. I don't use any of the Dove or any of the other particular companies scented. I just use velvet. And 1 cake of soap lasted me for absolute ages. Yes, I do shower and clean regularly. This one here is for heavy duty cleanser. So if you've been working on the car or the axles or the trailer, the caravan, you get really filthy, put a bit of this on, cleans it beautifully. This is for washing your clothes. It's a wool soap, because the reason the wool soap is when you're doing hand washing or any sort of washing with the wool, apparently you don't need to rinse it. I love all that idea. And 2 tea towels. I've only got 1, so can get a little bit dusty from time to time. 2 plastic drinking glasses. Way, something like that. 2 of those. If they match, even better. 2 green scourers, well, that's just for cleaning their fry pans and saucepans, and 2 metal scourers as well. 2 induction, so these particular saucepans, just in case you've got a proper induction stove, make certain the bottom of them works on an induction cooker, because if you get the wrong type of base, doesn't matter how flash the fry pans are, it definitely won't work. And 2 medium size does me all the time. I hardly ever use a kettle, I just use that. 2 microwave proof ceramic plates. Now you might say, oh no, we'll just have plastic for everything. But if you're using a microwave and they're not microwave proof, I can tell you, pop them in there and they crack. Go figure. So 2 of those, or at least 1 of them, because if you're heating something up or cooking something in the microwave without the microwave proof plates, it won't work. 4 egg cups. You can get those because they're pretty light to carry, or just a normal egg cup. 4 egg rings. Now the ones I use the silicone rings. I find them best. Egg rings. 4 large plates. I got the set from Kmart, cheap as, and I got some small plates as well. 4 plastic bowls. These are handy because if you drop them, then not too much damage. 4 of those. 4 plastic wine goblets. Well, I've only got 2, but I made certain they're a decent size, just in case I enjoy a glass. So little wine goblets, plastic. baby scissors, 2 sets of scissors, just your standard ones, and careful, and the little ones to trim your moustache and your beard and your underarms or whatever you're using them for. Barocca for health and sanity. Now this is my thing. Every day I take one of these, and I'm not trying to promote Barocca, but they are massive vitamin B. Now for me, the vitamin B really gives me a real, skip on a step, and helps me get through some of the tough times. So one of those a day, definitely for me, makes a massive difference. A really good can opener. Now you can get I spent a fair bit of money on a can opener, still got it. Now it's a Swiss Victorinox whatever can opener. Sometimes it won't work, and I tell you, it's just so frustrating. So I end up splashing out, and these are pretty expensive, about $20 I think. This is a trendy little one, and what you do is when you put it on the can, like so, put it on the can, then you just clip it on there, and then you start turning the handle, and what it does is it cuts around the top, and then right at the end, it's got a little magnet right at the end, the top just lifts off. Works every time, so it's worth having one of those. Now, good quality headlamp. Look, I've been through a whole heap, and it's almost like, for me, it's a quest. I'm still trying to find a really decent headlamp, and I bought lead lenser, which were really expensive. I didn't think they were that great. I bought a couple of copies, and I've still got a few that are okay. I'll tell you the one that I thought excites me the most, and I use it almost every day. Certainly every time I go outside I use this. So it's just a beanie. It's a good beanie as well, nice wool one, and keeps you warm on the cold. It's got a little lamp in it. See that? Now that great thing about that is, what you say, okay, it's enough when you're outside just to see what you're doing. You're not tripping over guy ropes and bumping into the tow ball and all that sort of stuff. And the thing that's really, really good, it's got a little USB on the end of it. So you can pop in the USB, it doesn't take very long to charge, and it's pretty bright. I use this all the time. Now you can get them from Kmart. On a good day you get them for $10. Otherwise you can go to any of the other stores. They've usually got them pretty much the same thing for about $20. Binoculars. I don't need to show you what they look like. I've got the little mini ones, like in the opera ones, just if you want to see something, like you're looking at a whale out to sea, or checking out a good looking lady. But they are handy to have on a trip. A black or blue marker pen is really handy to have, because you can, it's a permanent marker I'm talking about, really good to put on different things, and once you put it on it's pretty much permanent, which is great. That's what's called permanent. The other thing is, get yourself, I would say probably a dozen, because you probably lose 11 day one. The ones I really like in the way of just a normal pen is they're called gel. They're reasonably expensive, but that way you can write at any angle, and the ink always comes out, so that's handy to have that. Blue tack, you know what it looks like. Great idea having a spare bit of blue tack. You can put different things up, you can put photos and all sorts of things. The blue tack is pretty good, definitely worth it. Actually, while I think of it, it's not on this list. This is one of the best things I've found there on my trip. Now, I got this from recommendation from one of the guys I met on the track. It's called Loctite Super Glue Professional. That's what it looks like, and it's pretty expensive, but I've had it now for 6 months, and you just put 2 little drops, and it's like what, when they advertise the super glue, it says, oh, it's this strong. This is that strong. And I'm not a weirdo. If you keep it in the fridge sitting up, it'll keep, and you won't have to keep replacing it because it locks up on itself. Bottle of methylated spirits. Now you'll be using that for all sorts of things, but certainly sometimes it gives you relief on mosquito bites or ant bites or nasty bites. A square bucket. Now you can get your normal yellow bucket, which I use a fair bit, but having a square bucket means that you can actually store it a whole lot better, and usually they've got a plastic handle, so it's not so aggressive when it's actually full of water or full of a liquid. This is an interesting one. This is for bugs again. It's a tin of bug. You light it and it puts up smoke, and it's a little bit toxic. It doesn't smell that great, but it certainly makes me feel warm and cozy when I have it burning. And for all of the yucky smoke and everything comes in and gets over everything, I just wonder if it works. Now, I was once told that they're made out of cow dung, but I've got my doubts. In fact, I've even thought when I've been travelling maybe to grab a cow dung and just burn it somewhere just to see if it works. These are the ones. common as. Now you can get them in a whole tin, and the tin actually has like a little holder that you can put it on and do your thing. In fact, apparently with the newer ones you can take all this out, put it like that, and then put the lid over it like that, and the smoke comes up this way. But I would hate to think that I've been using this for pretty much the whole trip. I hate to think it's actually not working. So if someone knows whether they work or not, please let me know. If you are unfortunate enough to be bitten by midges, which is just, for me, once I get bitten by a midgie, I'm enduring it for 2 weeks. Now the best way for treatment that I've found is good old-fashioned calamine lotion. So the older generation will have heard of this. Buy this, you can buy it from Woolworths. I think I saw one the other day, it's about $10. But it'll be the best $10 you've invested in. Gives you a massive relief almost straight away. Looks a bit crazy because it just gives you like a powder residue on your on the area. Now the other one is, if you couldn't stand it and you've actually taken the tops off your midgies, the best one I've found is a thing called Soothe Bite. Now they've got two products, Soothe and Soothe Bite. Now Soothe Bite, which is that, it's just a little tube, a gel type tube. You come out, put it on, and what happens is it puts a very fine skin, literally like a skin over the top of it, stops you from scratching, and within a day or two it's all healed up. So good investment. Now if you do get the wrong one, then the other one you've got is actually for hemorrhoids. So it's not as if you won't ever use it, or hopefully you won't ever use the other one. But allegedly you can also use the hemorrhoid cream on your bites as well, allegedly. The other one, which is all a little bit strange, if you haven't seen one of these, please bear with me. It stops the flies. Now I stop the flies in a certain area. What happens is you put your battery in, turn it on, and these things just spin around like this, and they go and actually keeps the flies away. I kid you not. They're about $20. How are we up to? I'm definitely not up to 100 yet. The spatula, and you think, okay, well it's great for outside on the barbecue or even inside cooking, and because it's just so perfectly flat, when you put it in underneath the sausages or the mince or whatever, it does a really, really nice job. Basically it's a spatula that they use when they're building and putting on render and cement and all that sort of stuff. I've never used it for that, but it's because it's good quality stainless steel, it's always easy to clean, and it's safe to use, I think. 2 USB to C cables. That means that they will look like a normal USB there, and on the other end it'll be a fast one, but a smaller one like that. And now if you've got an iPhone, yours will look a little bit different. This is a great little one I picked up in Kmart. They're about $13 each, and the great thing about it is because your kids won't want to borrow it, because if they do, you'll know exactly who's got your cable, and they're quite long, so they reach from one of my USBs all the way up to the top of my bed so I can charge at night time. Next one is when you're buying your guy ropes, make certain they've got, for me, I like to have the spring on the bottom, and to be able to pull this thing up to pull it taut. And when the very top part of your guy rope is basically perpendicular, or vertical or horizontal, vertical, when it's vertical, you've got it about right. So you're wondering what angles to have it on. This one here, going this way, should pull that rope there, should just end up going pretty much up and down. Yeah, so get the doubles, that's what I recommend. I've already talked about it before, about the making up your own screws into the ground. At the moment I've got 4 medium size drilled into the ground, and they've worked fantastic. Put them in with my cordless hammer drill, and it goes, that's great, nice and firm. And on the top, I've talked about this as well, there's the little awning clip, stainless steel. I'd take it off now, but the whole awning would go up in the sky. The awning clip, I talked about that. If you've got any questions about these, jump on my website. I've got them, where to buy them, how much they are. I don't make anything about it, but it certainly should help you where you need to get them. So that's to hold the awning nice and taut. because on a windy day I stress so much. I think any minute that the awning's just going to go whoop, and these awnings to replace are pretty jolly expensive. Wheels on the wheel nuts, and remember when they're lined up like that, that means they're perfect. If I come out any day and they're out like this, that means one of the wheel nuts has come loose, and I don't want to do that, and I don't want to be constantly adjusting the wheel nuts. There's a few things on the door that I've talked about before, but it's probably worth reminding you. I've changed the curtain over to a blind, and that's on the what do they call this? It's not a pull down, let go. It's just to be able to adjust it like that. Now you can see from here on down, it's dark. So when I close the door for privacy, what I'll do is I'll pull this down, hook it under the little handle there, pull it down to that level, and then, and this is, you can't see through this, it's total blackout. So no one can see that part of the inside of the caravan. So I can be very private. Then bring it back up. Oh, wrong way. Bring it back up. Yeah. Pretty sure I mentioned this before. This is a great little, all it is just a little short Velcro strip. What I do is I run it over the top, up and over, then hook that little Velcro in, scoot it round, and that holds the top of the blind firm. Otherwise, without that, the blind will be flapping in the breeze all day. I've talked about putting this handle on. Now when you put it on, make certain you very, very careful where you drill the holes to put it in, because if you put it in the wrong place, right down this strip here, there's a spring steel that sort of goes in and out, and if you drill into that, you're in a lot of trouble. I think we talked about this another time. So I'm going to close that. So I've got the fly screen, I've got nice, it's cool inside, and I've got the hopefully keeping the flies away. This door here, it's almost all caravans are like that. You see that bit? It just hooks over onto there. Champagne cork you'll need. It's great fun, by the way, making a champagne cork, because you've got to drink a bottle of champagne. So what I do is I put it in this section of the caravan door, like so. So when I come out on a real windy day and the door comes flying out, slow-mo, slam into here, rather than slam and lock, it just hits the top of the door handle on the champagne cork and just bounces back. It doesn't smash the door or smash any of the components. So that's worth having. So to succeed with that bottle of champagne, you can either go crazy and get something like this, which I used for the launch of my TV show, and then now I've got a little cork I can put in the door. However, I've now got two, so I've got a spare. If you see me on the road, ask and you can have it. There, we come to the end of, looks like it's going to be part one of, I don't know how many part series. I don't think I even got up to about 30. Anybody who's actually counting can let me know how many I actually got up to. So look, there's over 100 things that I would have taken, and here's just a little snip of it. So hopefully you found it useful, helpful or entertaining, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, and until next time, this is Paul Will Drive signing off.